Hello students and my dear friends, myself HR Chaudhary, working assistant professor, Department of CSE Engineering College Ajmer. So today we'll discuss the lecture performance testing. As yesterday we have covered a lot of topics, or we have discussed a lot of topics regarding performance testing. Yesterday we have covered what is performance testing, what the performance, why do we do the performance testing. We also covered yesterday the types of performance testing, and we also have seen the common performance problems yesterday. Now today we will look at the performance testing process. So in the figure we can see we start from the identify environment, then we can move to the determining performance criteria. After that we can move to the plan and design. After that we can move the figure test environment, and then implementation test design, then run test cases, and in the last analyze retest. So this is the way of implementation the performance testing. So now we start the identify test environment. So the methodology adapted for the performance testing can vary widely, but the objective of the performance tests remain the same. It can help demonstrate that our software meets certain defined performance criteria, or it can help compare the performance of two software systems. It can also help identify parts of your system which degrade its performance. So we start from the identify the test environment. In this, to know our physical test environment, production environment, and what testing tools are available. Understand details of the hardware, software, and the network configuration, and use during testing before you begin or we begin the testing process. It will help tester to create more efficient tests. It will also help identify the possible challenges that testers may encounter during the performance testing process. So these are the things which we have to cover in the identifying test environment. After that we move to the determine performance criteria, and this includes the goal and the constraints for the throughput, response time, and the resource allocation. It is also necessary to identify the project success criteria outside of these goals and the constraints. Tester should be empowered to set performance criteria and the goals, because often the project specification will not include a wide enough variety of performance benchmarks. Sometimes there may be none at all. When the possible findings a similar application to compare to is a good way to set the performance goals basically. After that we move to the plan and design. In the plan and design we determine how usage is likely to vary among end users and identify key scenario to test for all possible use cases. It is necessary to simulate a variety of end users and plan performance test data, and the outline what matrices will be gathered. After that we move to the configure test environment. In configure test environment we prepare the testing environment before execution and also arrange tools and other resources. After that we move to the implement test design. In the implement test design, create the performance test according our test design basically. After that we run the test cases, we execute and monitor the testing cases in the run test cases, and the last we analyze, tune, and the retest. So consolidate the analysis and share test results, then fine tune and the test again to see if there is an improvement or decrease in the performance. Since improvements generally grow smaller with each retest, so stop when bottlenecking is caused by the CPU. Then you may have the consider options of increasing CPU power. So these are the things, or this is the process steps through which we can implement the performance testing. Now we'll move forward. We look at the performance testing matrices, or we can say some parameters are there which are to be monitored during the performance testing. So we can start. These are the parameters. This is the processor uses. In this, an amount of time processor spends executing non-ideal threads. So this is the parameter, and this is the meaning of this thing. Now this time, what is this time? Or before this, memory use. Memory use, an amount of physical memory available to process on a computer. Then we look at the disk time, an amount of time disk is busy executing a read or write request. So we look also this thing. After that, we move the bandwidth, shows the bits per second usually by a network interface. Then we move to the private bytes, number of bytes of a process that has allocated that can't be shared among us other process. These are used to measure memory leaks and uses. After that, we move the committed memory, amount of virtual memory used. This is after that, we move the memory pages per second. The number of pages written to or read from the disk is ordered to resolve hard page faults. Hard page faults are when code from the current working set is called up from elsewhere and retrieved from a disk. So this is also important. After that, we move to the page faults per second. The overall rate is which faults pages are processed by the processor. This again occurs when a processor requires code from outside its working set. And then we move to the CPU interrupts per second. Is the average number of hardware interrupts or a processor is receiving or processing each second. After that, we look at the disk queue length, is average number of read and write requests queued for the selected disk during a sample interval. And then after, we look at the network output queue length, length of the output packets queued in packets. Anything more than 2 means a delay and the bottlenecking needs to be stopped. The next parameter is the network bytes total per seconds, rate which bytes are sent and received on the interface including priming characters. Then after, we look at the parameter response time, time from when a user enters a request until the first character of the response is received. So this is also important. Then we look at the throughput, a rate of computer or the network receive requests per second. This is also the parameter which we look or we monitor during the performance testing. Then after, we move the amount of connection pooling. This is also important. The number of users requests that are met by the pooled connections. The more requests made by connection in the pool, the better of the performance will be definitely. And then after, we look at the maximum active sessions, the maximum number of sessions that can be active at once. It is also monitored. Then hit ratios, this has to do with the number of SQL statements that are handled by cache data instead of expensive input output operations. This is a good place to start for solving bottlenecking issues here only. Then after, we look at hits per second, the number of hits on a web server during each second of a load test. Then after, we look at the rollback segment, the amount of data that can roll back at any point in time. So it is also an important parameter. Then we look at the top weights are the monitored to determine what wait times can be cut down when dealing with the how fast data is retrieved from the memory. Is also important parameter. Then we look at the thread count. It is an application health can be measured by the number of threads that are running and currently active. Then we look in the last at the garbage collection also. It has to do with the returning unused memory back to the system, and the garbage collection needs to be monitored for efficiency. So these are the parameters which we consider during the performance testing of a software system. Now next we'll have an example performance test cases. So how different types of test cases may be there in the performance testing. Now if we look at the first one, which means we can see that the verify response time is not more than 4 seconds 100 or 1000 users access the website simultaneously. This is the one type of test cases that can be designed the performance testing. Now second one, we can say that verify the response time for the application under load is within an acceptable range when the network connectivity is slow. So this is the second test case may be there. Check the maximum number of users that the application can handle before it crashes. It is also may be there. Check the database execution time when 500 records are read or written simultaneously. So this may be there. A number of cases may be more, like CPU, check CPU and memory usage of the application and the database server under peak load conditions. So these also may be the test case in the performance testing. Or we can say the verify response time of the application under low, normal and the moderate and the heavy load conditions. So this also may be the test case in the performance testing. During the actual performance testing execution on vague terms like acceptable range, heavy load, etc. are the replaced by the concrete number of performance engineers. Set these numbers as the business requirements and the technical landscapes of the application. So we consider all these things in the performance testing. Now we look at the different types of performance tools which in these days are available in the market to implement the performance testing. So below is the list of popular performance tools are there. We can look here the Load Ninja, NeoLoad, HP Load Runner and JMeter. So now we can look at what are these tools. There are a widely variety of performance tools available in the market. The tools we choose testing will depend on many factors such as types of the protocol supported, license cost, hardware requirements, platform support and lot of other things. Now what is Load Ninja? We look at Load Ninja. Is a revolutionary the way we load test. This cloud-based load testing tool empower team to record and instantly playback comprehensive load tests without complex dynamic correlations and run during these load tests in real browsers at scale. Terms are able to increase test coverage and cut load testing time by over 60% in the Load Ninja. If you talk about NeoLoad, so this is the performance testing platform designed for a DevOps that seamlessly integrates into your existing continuous delivery pipelines. With NeoLoad terms, test 10 into multiply faster than with traditional tools, or we can say 10 times faster than the traditional tool to meet to a new level of requirements across the full agile software development lifecycle from component to full system load test. Definitely, if we talk about the HP Load Runner, is the most popular performance testing tool on the market today. This tool is capable of simulating hundreds of thousands of the users, putting applications under real life load to determine their behavior under expected load. The Load Runner feature a virtual user generator which simulates the action of live human users. And in the last we see the JMeter, one of the leading tool used for load testing of web and application servers. So these are the testing tools which are available in the market and that can be used as per the need of user or as per the software, and definitely the use of software. So this is the over now. Thank you.